Hello guys, welcome to a new video of Elix Fallen. In this video we are going to make a tier list with the breedings are right over here, except flower breeding because it's not updated yet. But yeah, we're going to rank all of these breedings in these 6 tiers, where I also put SS tier, because and SS tier has the 2 best breedings of the game right now. So now let's start by the lowest tier, which is the D tier, right over here. And at the start of the D tier, I will put on beast breeding. So I don't really like beast breeding because it's really hard to obtain, because you have to give Inosuke 50, I don't remember, or 100 boar meats, one blue demon horn, and one green demon horn. So yeah, it's one of the hardest breedings to obtain, and hit the moves such as slow cooldown. So like I don't really know how this breeding can be useful, in PvPs or just grinding. Even though the them ones are good, but yeah, I don't really recommend these breedings. So at the second D tier list, I think we have wind breeding. So wind breeding is actually very good for grinding, and it's also very easy to obtain, and it has also high DPS, but I don't really like it because the moves can be easily dodged or blocked, and the combos are, for me, just it's really hard to do combos and land the moves on someone who's constantly moving. So I don't recommend this breeding on PvP. So moving on to the C tier, I think we have serpent breeding. The reason I don't really like this breeding is because the attack speed is usually very slow, and the first form, like one of the forms, can be very hard to land. So, and also this breeding is hard to get because you have to pay Iguro-san, I think, 20k yens, and you need to defeat the X demon and obtain his color. So yeah, this breeding, I don't really like it, so it's C tier for me, definitely. So the second breeding of the C tier list is breeding, which I don't really like because I think it's one of the hardest breedings to obtain, that you have to find the 3 Yuzui wives, Suma, Makyo and Hinatsuru, and give Tengen 3 perfect crystals, which they are really hard to obtain. But if you see my tutorial on my YouTube channel, they're kinda easy to get. And yeah, it also has 2 swords, just like beast breeding, but you know I don't really like this breeding. It's hard to use. So I don't know, the moves are pretty slow. At the third C tiers, we have love breeding. So love breeding, it has the same requirements to get like serpent breeding, such as killing TX demon and pay Mitsuri 20k yens. But I don't really like this breeding because it requires a high amount of time to farm for yams. Same thing apply to serpent breeding, and the moves can also make your PC lag, and T moves that can heal players can't heal yourself, so it's kind of useless on one. And some of the forms are kind of hard to get, but yeah, it's kind of decent. It does high damage, but I don't really like it, so I don't know. So starting with the B tier, I put flame breeding. So flame breeding, although it's the very easy, to obtain for starters, and it's also very strong in PvP, but I don't really like it because you have to pair this breeding with the best clans. So like you should use Rengoku for flame breeding so you can use its full potential, because Rengoku actually gives a buff on the burning damage, but only with flame breeding, not with sun breeding. And there are you can block them. Most of the move can block them, excluding Flame Tiger. And you know, ninth form can really take a long time to charge, you know. So I don't really like this. Really, for me it's kind of B. Chill. For me it's B. It's chill. Moving on to the second breeding of the B tier, we have misbreeding. So misbreeding, you have to pay with your 2k yen and do a mates, which I'll bring a video about it soon, a tutorial on it. So I like misbreeding because you can do very good combos with it, and you know you can also combo extend. And if you use Tokito clan, you can also use one more move that can give you hype armor. So yeah, I like this, and this is a B but really close to an A. So now moving on to A tiers, we have thunder breeding. So thunder breeding, although two moves, no, three moves are blockable, you can really do lots of damage with these combos. And it's extremely good from PV for PvP. You know, I really like this breeding. And if you have also Kairoji clan and you're an hybrid with Dark Thunder Nichirin, it's the end of the world. Literally, this breeding is one of the strongest, but for me it's still A tier because you can block most of the moves. But yeah, this is good for me. At the second place at the A tier we have insect breeding. Now hear me out on this one. It might seem very underrated, but this breeding, it's so strong. So you can poison enemies for a very long period of time, and you can do tons of combos, you know, with the moves. It's very easy to combo, but you also have to pay attention because most of the moves you combo with are blockable. But yeah, this is one of the best breedings. But yeah, for me it's still an A tier because it's really hard to use, and it has a very M1 low damage. The third breeding on A tier is water breeding. So in the recent video I also used water breeding, and I can say it's not very bad. And but I really love the passive on it, that you hit enemies with M1s and you can charge your breeding while you hit enemies. But yeah, it also has, the moves are kinda mid near range. Doesn't have long range moves. But yeah, I really like this water breeding. But only one move can can break your guard. So you know it's not very useful in PvP, but I still like it very much, and it's a very good breeding style for starters. Now moving on to the S tiers, we have moon breeding. So even though moon breeding's requirements are kinda hard, you know, you need a tons of skill points to complete the moon breeding. I really like it because it has uh, a move that can easily make you escape from combos, near range moves, mid range moves, and long range moves. And you can only use this breeding style if you're an hybrid, which gives you some buffs like more HP or more stamina. And if you use like clans like Himejima or Kenroji, you are pretty much invincible with this breeding. Yeah, for me this is the top 3 breeding. Now moving on to the SS tier, for me at the first breeding style of the game is stone breeding. Now stone breeding, it has a shit ton of damage on it, and the moves can stun you so much that you can pretty basically infinite combo your enemy. Like for real, this is so strong. But stone breeding is very hard to get. You have to pay Yomei, I don't remember, 20k yen and give him 50 demon horns. But yeah, this breeding is still very OP, and the stone and the ball and the mace, no, the axe and the mace can also do very high M1 damage. Now, SS tier breeding, the last one is some breeding. Yeah, some breeding, it's very good with Kamado, Kanroji, with Burning Bones, Summer Sun. Yeah, this breeding is one of the only second to stone breeding in PvP and fighting bosses too, like Alcazar and Gyutaro. I don't really know the bosses, I don't remember them, but this breeding is so OP, guys. Trust me. And it has the. You also have to be Prestige 1, level 50, just like, uh, you know, moon breeding, but you can only be a slayer while using this breeding. You can be an hybrid and use uh, some breeding like most of the other breedings. So here's my tier list, and if you want to, debate me, maybe you think water breeding should be S tier, or maybe you think, I don't know, insect breeding should be D tier. Just debate me in the comments, and I don't know. You can also tell me your playlist. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and leave a like. See you in the next one.